Okay, so the next lesson in the geometry unit is on complementary and supplementary angles. Okay, now with this you have to know that two angles, all right, we're going to say supplementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 180 degrees, and each angle is called the supplement of the other, right? So basically, if I have one angle that's 30 degrees, right, its supplement, right, would be 150 degrees. Okay, so we say each angle is called the supplement of each other. The next one is complementary angles, right? These are two angles whose measures have a sum of 90 degrees. And in this case, each angle is called the complement of each other. So if I have one angle that's 20 degrees, right, its complement would be 70 degrees. So in the first example here, determine whether the following pairs of angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither, right? So you know if they add up to 90 degrees, they're complementary. 180 degrees, they're supplementary. If it's neither, or if they don't add up to 90 or 180, it's neither. So the first one is 22 plus 158. What's that going to add up to? 180 degrees. Therefore, these two angles are supplementary. The next one, 15 plus 85, is going to give you 100, right? Doesn't add up to 90 or 180, so this is neither. The next one, 55 plus 35, will give you 90. So when you look at these two angles, these would be complementary. Okay? So to find the complement and supplement of an angle, right? To find the complement of an angle, you know complementary angles add up to 90. Therefore, all we're going to say is what plus 41 gives me 90? So the easiest way to do it is 90 minus 41 would give you 49 degrees. So the complement of this angle would be 41 degrees. Now, the supplement of this angle, you know they have to add up to 180. So what plus 41 would give you 180? Well, that would be 180 minus 41 degrees, which is 139 degrees. Okay? Pause the video and try the next example on your own. So to go ahead and find the complement of this angle, right, we know they add up to 90, so 90 minus 86 would give me 4 degrees. The supplement of this angle would be 180 minus 86 degrees, which would give you 94 degrees. Okay. Now, there are a couple of theorems here that relate to, complementary and supplementary angles. And the first one says if two angles are supplements of the same angle, right, or of congruent angles, then those two angles are congruent, right? So it's basically saying if two angles are supplements of the same angle, right? So if I have this angle is 40 degrees, then I give you another angle, right, and then another angle, and I tell you that these two angles are both supplementary to that. Well, that means both of these would have to be 140, which would tell me that these two angles are congruent. Okay? And the same thing goes for this one. If two angles are complements of the same or of congruent angles, then the two angles are congruent. So another way to look at this, right, written out algebraically, is if I know angle A plus angle B add up to 90, and I know angle B plus angle C adds up to 90, right? What does that tell me about angle C, A and C? I know angle A would be congruent to angle C, because if you think about it, angle B is 30 here, angle B is 30 here. That means this would have to be 60, and this is 60, and if they have the same measure, A would be congruent to C. Okay, the next theorem, all right angles are congruent, and that's because they are 90 degrees. If two angles are congruent and supplementary, right? So if two angles are congruent and supplementary, then each is a right angle. So if I take this 180 degree angle and I say they're congruent, that means both of them have to be 90 degrees. Okay? So let's look at some other examples that we might come across. So the first example, if angle A and angle B are complementary, and angle B and C are supplementary, so you know angle A plus angle B have to add up to 90 because they're complementary. You know angle B plus angle C have to add up to 180 because they're supplementary. And they tell you angle C is 147 degrees. Find A and B. So if this is 147 degrees, what does that tell us about angle B? Angle B is going to be 180 minus 147, which would give me 33 degrees. Now, if angle B is 33 degrees, now angle A would be 90 minus 33, which is 57 degrees. Okay? Do me a favor, pause the video, try number 4 on your own, and then come back and check your answer. So in this example, they tell us A and B are complementary. So we know angle A plus angle B have to add up to 90 degrees. If angle A is 3x plus 12 plus angle B is 2x minus 22, I know these add up to 90. Now I can take this, combine like terms, right? And once I combine like terms, I could go ahead and solve for x. 3x plus 2x is 5x plus, or sorry, not plus, it's going to be 5x, and then 12 minus 22 is minus 10 equals 90. Now, add 10 to both sides. 5x equals 100. Divide by 5, and x is equal to 20. Well, once I know x is equal to 20, angle A is going to be 3 times 20 plus 12, which is going to give me 60 plus 12, which is 72. Now, to find angle B, I could do it two ways. One, I can plug the value of x in, or if these two angles are complementary, I know right away I could just say angle B is 90 minus whatever A is, and if A is 72, 90 minus 72 would be 18 degrees. Okay? Now, example 5. If these two angles add up to 90 degrees, because that's a right angle, so these two angles are complementary, to find angle MOP, I would do 90 minus 5, which would tell me angle MOP is 85 degrees. Okay? Now, these two angles in example 6, alright, they add up to 180, meaning they're supplementary. So, we take 8x plus x plus 27 equals 180. So, 9x plus 27 equals 180. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 27 to get 9x equals 153. And then x would equal 17. Once I know x is equal to 17, now I can go ahead and plug it in to find each angle measure. So, this angle here, angle ABD, is going to be 8 times 17, which gives me 136 degrees. And then angle DBC would be 17 plus 27, which is going to be 44 degrees. Now, in this next example, they tell me angle GHI and JKL are complementary. What does that tell me about these two angles? It tells me they add up to 90 degrees. So I know 8R plus 9 plus 7R plus 6 adds up to 90 because they are complementary. So that gives me 15R plus 15 equals 90. I can go ahead and subtract 15. 15R equals 75. And now, when I divide by 15, R is equal to 5. Once I know R is equal to 5, I can plug it back in to find these angles. 8 times 5 plus 9 is 49 degrees. 7 times 5 plus 6 would give me 41 degrees. Alright, now 8 and 9, this is where it gets a little challenging. Okay, so before we even go into this, what we're going to do is go to the side here and talk about what this means. Now, anytime in these problems you see the word angle, we're going to say the measure of the angle is x, right? Because we don't technically know what it is right now. Now, anytime it says complement, well, what do we do to find the complement of an angle? We take 90 degrees and we subtract whatever that angle is. So in these problems, anytime you see the word complement, you're going to put 90 minus x. Now, supplement is always going to be 180 minus x, right? So when we do these word problems, there's two things. You're going to look for the word is. And when you see that word is, you put equals. And what you're going to do is you're going to translate the left side of the is and the right side of the is. Okay, if you don't get this on the first day, don't understand, we're going to spend a second day on it. So, here it is. An angle is 62 degrees larger than its supplement. Find the measure of the angle. Well, we know the angle is x. We know supplement is 180 minus x. So when we translate this, we see the word is here, and that's where the equal sign goes. So if we translate the left side of this and angle, that means x equals 62 degrees larger than. That means we're adding 62 to something. So we're going to take the supplement, which is 180 minus x, and we're going to, since it's 62 degrees larger than the supplement, it's basically the supplement plus 62 degrees, so 180 minus x plus 62. Now what I can do is solve for x, and that will give me the measure of the angle. So, add x to both sides, I get 2x equals, what is 180 plus 62 going to give me? 242. When I divide by 2, I get x is equal to 121 degrees. So right away, I know my angle measure is 121 degrees. Okay, do me a favor, take the next problem and try it on your own, and we'll come back and look at it. So an angle is 24 degrees less than twice its complement. So when I read this, is, that's where I'm putting the equal sign. Now the left side, an angle is, so the angle is x. It's 24 degrees less than, meaning it's less than something. So what is it less than? We know it's going to be twice the complement, so we know we're going to take the complement, multiply it by 2. And if we're 24 degrees less than that, we're going to subtract the 24 from that. The order here does matter. So we said a minute ago, anytime we see the word complement, we're going to do 90 minus x. So 2 times the complement would be 2 times 90 minus x. And if we're 24 degrees less than this, we're going to subtract the 24. Now that I have my equation, I'm going to go ahead and solve for x. X equals, I'm going to distribute the 2, so you get 180 minus 2x minus 24. I'm going to go ahead, add 2x to both sides, and that gives me 3x equals 180 minus 24 is 156. And now, if I divide by 3, x is equal to 52 degrees. So right away we know x represents the measure of the angle. So your angle here is 52 degrees. If I wanted to find the supplement or complement, I would, to find the supplement, 180 minus 52. To find the complement, 90 minus 52. Okay, go ahead, attempt the homework on your own, and I'll answer any questions tomorrow in class.